So I'm a dude who's been chronically unemployed my entire life. Whether that be from me being too young at the time, or laziness, or genuine fear of getting a job and then not being able to get along. And because of that, I've done some kind of really stupid shit to make money. Not the kind where it's dangerous, the kind where it's like, how in the hell did you get paid for that? And I decided it would be kind of fun to make a tier list ranking the dumbest shit that I've done to get money based on exactly how dumb it is. And I actually tried making a video like this a few years ago. It's unlisted now and it ended up becoming, at the time, my most hated video because the methods to make money were indeed stupid. But I decided, well, let's just get into this right now. So I'm going to be going through these in the order in which I did them. And I want to start with when I was about 10 years old and hated school so much that a part of me genuinely just wanted to like go fucking work in the mines or whatever. But I basically remember asking my dad, like, what could I possibly do at my age to make money as well as go to school? Because I feel like I'd be more motivated, to work than go to school. And basically what we came up with was I would transfer my money, which wasn't that much, obviously, because I was like 10. But to be fair, I had never spent a dime before. All of my money that I had gotten from birthdays or Christmas or that type of thing was in the bank. So basically, the plan was just to switch to a different bank, one with a high interest savings account. And like, I honestly included this just because I feel like I need to inform people that this is a thing. Like, there are savings accounts where you'll get paid in interest per month, like 5% of what you have in there, or like something insane like that. So I did that at about the age of 10, and I've had it in there ever since. So that's a decade now where my money has just been, I guess, compounding in a way. It was like $10 a month initially, and then it just became more because there was more money in there. But because of that, I will rank this as being the least stupid thing that I've done to make money. I think everybody should look into it. Now, next, I want to fast forward to a not very proud time in my life when I was about 16 years old, and I was an admin on a video game. The specific video game was SCP Secret Laboratory. And I was an admin for one of like the official servers, so it was, I don't know, it was some nerd shit. But yeah, from like right before I turned 16 to right after I turned 17, I was an admin on this game. And first of all, no, we didn't get paid for it. That isn't how I made the money that I made from it. One time when playing the game, somebody told me that they would give me $5 if I killed the player. And then I did it. I killed a player in a video game, and I got sent $5, a $5 Steam gift card. In all of the time that I spent on that game, that was like my whole life at that point. I was a fucking loser. Yeah, I made $5 through a Steam gift card for killing a player from some guy who was probably an even bigger loser than I was. And I would say that even though that's a really insignificant amount, I remember this because it's actually that stupid that somebody paid me $5 to kill somebody in a virtual game. And because of that, I will rank this as, I guess, S tier, the equivalent of S tier, because that is fucking dumb as hell. So next I want to fast forward to about a year later, in 2023, I was in this band called Needlepeen. I know, it's a great name, and our music was even better. I don't talk to them anymore, so I guess I wouldn't recommend listening to their music because they just simply don't deserve it. But pretty much, yeah, that's how it works. You make money, you pay a distributor to put it on Spotify and other streaming platforms, and then you can get paid through that distributor. That's assuming you don't have a record label or something actually expected for music production. But yeah, that's what I did, and we made a decent amount of money through streams. Ultimately, I got the money back, like, and then some, so I could pay for the next subscription. And then I left the band, I gave control over to them. And then eventually I ended up cutting ties with them. But here's where it gets interesting, right? I would say at that point, I had basically broke even because it was 2 subscriptions, like $20 each. And yeah, I had made about $50 or something like that, and 2 of them went back into the subscription, and then the rest, I guess, was a bit net. And I gave it to the other guys. But anyway, about a year later, not a year after that, a year after I stopped talking to them, I randomly got $40 in my PayPal. And it turns out what had happened was they had forgotten to unlink my PayPal from the website that pays them for the music streams. So they essentially sent their money that they got from their music to my PayPal. And to be fair, I would have given it back if they asked for it, but they never did, probably because they didn't want to talk to me. So that was just like a free $30 for me or something, somewhere from like $30 to $40 that they earned over the course of a year, and they just accidentally gave it to me. And because of the absurdity of just that situation, I'm going to put this in, I guess, the equivalent of A tier, because while the music was a little bit stupid, the idea of making money from making music isn't stupid, but the absurdity of that specific situation, yeah, that's very, very stupid. And I almost wanted to make this video just to tell these absurd stories. Anyway, that being said, I want to both rewind and also fast forward to when I was like 17, close to 18. I will be talking about this type of thing for the rest of the video, but there are apps, phone apps, that will pay you for doing really random shit. And I think the way that they make money is mainly from ads and also collecting your data like any other company does. But when I was around 17, I found this bubble shooter game that I can't even remember the name of nowadays. But the way that it worked is it's like you essentially compete with other players, and then the people in the top 3 get a cash prize. You know, like the person in second place earns a little bit, the person in third place loses a little bit, and the person in first place gains a decent amount. But I found the game so addicting that I eventually found just the best system to generate the most money. And me, you know, once again, instead of focusing on getting a 4.0 GPA senior year, I was tapping on my screen to pop bubbles. And yeah, it got to the point where it was like, I was getting a couple hundred a month. You know, it's not great, but like, I was tapping on my screen to pop bubbles. But anyway, eventually they changed their policy with the app and required ID, and I wasn't 18 yet, so I kind of had to give that up. But I don't know. I think that's about absurd enough that I would also put this in the equivalent of A tier, because I was tapping on my screen to pop bubbles, and I think in total I probably made more from that than any of these other things that I'm talking about. So speaking of apps that pay you, you know, there's a whole world of just really random tasks that you can do through phone apps and then get paid not enough money for it to make it worthwhile. And I kind of just want to talk about the rest of the ones on there that I've done. Like, it mainly goes into a few different categories of survey apps where you get paid to do like company surveys. And those are miserable, by the way. Like, I think I would rather just get a job at that point. If we're just going purely based off of how like fucking monotonous it is, those surveys are hell. And half of the time you get kicked out before you can even complete it, so you don't get the full reward. There are ones where you just get paid to play mobile games, and once again, I think it's the same philosophy in a way of just, you get paid to watch their ads, and they also collect your data, and ultimately they still profit because they don't pay you that much. And then there's also other ones like getting paid to scan receipts, and I don't know how that works. It sounds kind of sketchy. There's ones that pay you to walk steps and shit like that. But ultimately, I still have these installed on my phone because it's just like you get paid to kind of just dick around and do what you'd probably do anyway, like walking around and, playing mobile games. Ultimately, though, I would say this is mid-tier because it's pretty stupid if you're treating it like work, because you're basically putting yourself through hell to get paid, not even close to enough to make it worthwhile. And ultimately, I guess I want to talk about my latest venture, which is creating an Uber Eats driver account. I would have done DoorDash since that's like the one that most people do, but I'm not old enough for that. I'm only 20, you have to be 21. So I created an Uber Eats driver account since you only have to be 19 for that. And so far it's been okay. I've done a few orders. I'm not really getting any in my location now that I moved back to college. I got them in my hometown. And ultimately, that pays a lot better than anything I've talked about thus far. It's a real job in a way. People make a lot of money doing this. I would hate to see this be someone's career because half of the money goes back into, vehicle expenses, like paying for your gas or just general wear and tear on your car, which will eventually destroy it. But I drive a fucking Honda Civic. So, it's a shit box. I have the crank to roll down my window. But ultimately, it gets good gas mileage, and also it'll last me probably a couple of years at least. Hopefully, 10 years or 20 years. So I have the ideal vehicle for that. But that being said, the concept of essentially, delivering somebody's food for them and then taking the expenses to your own vehicle is a little bit stupid. But also, once again, it's good. People make a lot of money from this. And because of that, I would put this in the equivalent of D tier. And I think that's basically it. Hopefully it doesn't get as much hate as when I did this originally. I thought it would just be funny to tell those stories. And believe it or not, I uploaded twice in 1 week. Usually I go months without uploading, but I'm pretty bored right now since classes haven't started yet. So I'm just doing this and then basically doing the things that I just talked about. But hope you enjoyed. I should hopefully continue to be uploading on this channel. I don't know if anybody still watches this fucking stupid shit, but if you're a longtime viewer, hello. If you're new, also hello, and goodbye.